Dear students, today I will discuss about the last portion of the biotechnology, that is use of different type of promoters for expression of proteins in case of plant system. They've tried with many number of promoter systems, and especially as we know that the plant system, as it is eukaryotic system, the prokaryotic promoters are not going to be useful, whereas in case of eukaryotic promoters, so most of other kind of promoters which actually has been used in case of animal systems will not hold good in case of plant system because of its own uniqueness, and that made people to look for different kind of promoters possible. And also another important factor is that these particular promoters should be very strong promoters which can able to manage the synthesis of long means a long mRNA molecule, as the gene, most of these particular genes which are used to express in case of plants are going to be the lengthier genes. So therefore that made people to look for varieties of promoters possible, and they looked into the viruses which generally infects the plant and expresses their proteins into the plant system. So that led to the identification of a promoter from cauliflower mosaic virus. So this cauliflower mosaic virus is the virus which actually infects the plant system, and this has an RNA promoter of 35S and 19S, so which can able to synthesize the RNA of a very large, means a very long length. So this particular promoter found to be very active and can be improved still further by doing some changes within the sequence of enhanced region. So these promoters have a much lower activity in case of monocots, and duplicating the CMV35 enhancer has a little effect there. So the people also looked into other kind of promoters like actin 1 promoter in case of rice, and ubiquitin 1 promoter in case of maize. So these are other kind of other promoters which people actually looked into to develop and use it to produce protein molecules. So all these particular transgenes, whichever has been means going to be used to produce their particular protein, so they should have an polyadenylation site, and which is also going to be derived from agrobacterium nos gene, or people have derived it from the CAMV35S RNA polymerase, RNA, and even 35 the 5 prime leader sequence also going to be needed whenever a protein is going to get produced. That has been obtained from the tobacco mosaic virus RNA known as the omega sequence, and it can increase the transgene expression by around 80-fold. So all these factors were considered whenever people went for the insertion of a particular gene into and transfer it into a plant system. So they've used a specific promoter followed by a polyadenylation site they have taken into consideration, and the leader sequence, so which increases the stability of the mRNA, and as well it can enhance the process of transcription and also the process of translation. Now the most widely used type of promoter is the CAMV promoter. So this CAMV is a double-strand DNA virus, so which infects a wide range of crucifers, especially the brassicas such as cabbages, cauliflowers, etc. That's why people call it as cauliflower mosaic virus. So this has two promoters. One is 35S promoter, another one is 19S promoter. This promoters are being used it in the plant system by the plant polymerases, and they are actually involved in the synthesis of RNA out of it. So first what happens is that within the nucleus where the viral genome is going to be uncoated forms a mini chromosome like structure, and it gets transcribed into two RNA species. One is the 35S RNA, another one is 19S RNA. So that's why the name 35S promoter and 19S promoter. So these RNAs passes into the cytoplasm where they are going to get means by using reverse transcription as well as by as a template for the translation to produce the gene products. Whereas 19S RNA templates for the translation only. Why? Because the 35S promoter is having high strength as it's going to be able to convert or synthesize the whole genome of the cauliflower mosaic virus into an RNA. So this is the promoter sequences which have been used. So that's why people actually gone into the 35S promoter most commonly, whereas if the length of the gene of interest is little lesser, then go for 19S promoters. Stability wise, people have there are different controversies are there. Some people say they are not much stable, some people say no, they are going to be stable. People have actually enhanced and as well as they have introduced number of small changes, nucleotide changes within the mosaic virus in order to make it more stable as well as in order to uh, enhance the activity and control the activity of the promoter. Now, what is the application of doing all these things in plant biology? See, this particular ability of introducing a new gene into the plant system can able to change the plant genetic material in order to make the plant more resistant, more susceptible, more to give more yield or in order to fortify a particular quality of the plant, like that. So if you come to the applications, first is new horticultural varieties. So due to the introduction of a new set of gene into the plant system, we can able to develop different horticultural varieties, particularly in floriculture, where we can develop the flowers of different colors, mixed colors. Okay, so this is possible if we are going to alter or change or increase or decrease the synthesis of pigments like anthocyanin, so we can able to get different type of flowers, different colored flowers, like that. And in case of pest resistance, all of us know very well known, that is BT cotton, so which is a product of this kind of genetic modifications only. So improved pest resistance to in reduce the risk of getting eaten by the insects and pests and virus damage to the crop. So increase the yield by eliminating these competing weeds. So people have done a lot of research in this area and have actually developed varieties of genetically modified crops, which significantly reduces the amount of pesticides that is needed for applying onto the crop. The pesticides will not actually kill beneficial predatory insects, but also to the good ones also. So here in this particular case, what actually people were doing is they've developed BT cotton, which is having the cryogen of this Bacillus thuringiensis, the crystal gene. So they have introduced into the cotton plant, so and made it specifically get produced within the flower buds where in the insect is going to eat, so they'll get die off. So they've used this particular thuringiensis, the BT cotton toxins gene, and they made it to produce it in the plant system. The other kind of examples like a transfer of genes that inhibits the digestion of starch from bean to garden pea, like which can stop the attack of weevils. And then people also involved in transfer of viral uh, coat proteins into the plant system to make them more resistant toward the viral attack, so that the plants can be more resistant towards the virals and can produce a good amount of yield. So people also gone for pest resistance. You can see this is the pathway which is being targeted. So transfer of mutated genes into shikimate pathway to the plant and make susceptible glyphosate herbicides inhibit important enzyme in the pathway, and they use that. Then to improve the nutritive value of the plants, people have done metabolic engineering so that a particular type of component of the metabolism can be increased, like increase the availability or production of amino acids like lysine, methionine and tryptophan, and make it to be present in the grain more in quantity. To improve the vitamins quantity in the crop, like in golden rice, people have developed with having more amount of beta carotene precursors to the vitamin A, and 250K means that has actually improved and helped a lot of people. And Syngenta has just released this much higher expressing cultivar. Then improve value of feed crops, like people actually transfer a fungal enzyme phytase to the crop to improve the phytic acid from feed and improve the phosphate availability for the livestock. So like that, a lot of work has been done, and they have developed varieties of organic plant systems or genetically modified plants which are able to produce the required molecules in large quantity within them. Then people have also gone into the stress resistance, that is abiotic stress, like salt, acid, or even water. So those kind of stress. So in order to make the plants to grow in a unfavorable conditions too, by resisting to the whatever the stress being induced. Example like salt stress express high level of sodium H plus antiporter in the vacuole membrane, so which allows the plant to grow even in high concentration of sodium and like that. So which can able to be, and even people actually started developing the plants which can involved in phytoremediations. So improve post-harvest physiology, like in case of perishable crops, like for example tomato, where people actually increased their availability, so their lifespan was got increased. So what people have done is they slow down the fruit ripening. So to increase the lifespan of perishable crops, what people have done is they delayed the fruit ripening process. So in order to delay it, they slow down the ethylene response to the ripening pathway, and thereby they increase the lifespan of the perishable crops. And they could also use the climactic fruit especially, and the most climactic fruit picked green, shipped to the market and treated with the ethylene before the sale, so that it can become get ripened. So they have gone for different type varieties of these alterations and developed the plant means increase the availability of the many number of crops, particularly perishable crops. And people also working on to make the plants to produce some commercially viable molecules, like in case of pharmaceuticals, people are trying to produce vaccines and other industrial products by doing molecular farming or farming, which people generally call it as, or people also not normal farming, it is PHA farming, that is pharma farming. So people are going for making the plant produce more number of biopolymers like PHP, polyhydroxybutyrate. So they are working on the metabolic engineering so that the plant will be made to produce more amount of PHBs, which can be used to produce biopolymers, the degradable polymers. Then people also involved in the production of edible vaccines to minimize the expensive refrigeration and distribution and administration of vaccines. People are trying to produce the vaccines, they're trying to make the plant to produce the vaccines which can be used commercially and to vaccinate people. So they're also going for developing high value like antibodies also in the, these are all not exactly into the experimental conditions, these are all on the drawing table like conditions. So some people have tried, some people have failed, some people are finding a little more success. So just like cells, people are also trying to use plant system to produce the antibodies which can be used for treatments. So these are few applications of plant biotechnology. So hope I could able to give you an brief insights into the plant biotechnology. In case, so if you have any doubts or more information you want, just feel free to contact me. I'll give you the references. You can go through. Any doubts persist, then I will able to answer it and solve it. Thank you. Take care.